Hey there, and welcome to True Scary Stories. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling us where you're from and what time you're watching. That helps YouTube know you love creepy stories and it'll keep sending more your way. Story 1: The Doll That Watched Me. I was never a fan of yard sales. My wife, however, loved them. Every Saturday, she'd drag me from house to house looking for hidden treasures. Most of the time it was just old clothes or rusty tools. But one morning, we came across a sale in an old neighborhood I'd never been to before. The house was small and falling apart. The grass was knee-high, and weeds were growing through the driveway cracks. Still, there was a table of items out front. My wife ran straight to a pile of antique dishes. I just stood there, bored, until I saw something strange. It was a porcelain doll. She was sitting on a rocking chair, wearing a faded blue dress. Her face was pale and cracked, and her glass eyes stared straight ahead. But what gave me chills was how real her eyes looked. The old woman running the sale noticed me looking. "You like her?" she asked in a soft, raspy voice. "I guess," I said. "It just looks detailed." She smiled, revealing yellow teeth. "She's special. Came all the way from Germany. My mother used to say she protected the house." I forced a polite smile and turned away. But my wife had already bought the doll and chair. "It's perfect for the living room," she said. I didn't argue. It was just a doll, after all. That night, I placed the doll and chair in the corner of our living room. As I walked away, I felt like I was being watched. I glanced back. The doll's head was tilted to the side now. Had it been that way before? I shook it off. Just my imagination. The next morning, the chair was rocking slightly. No one had touched it. I figured maybe the house creaked or moved during the night. But then strange things started happening. The TV would turn on by itself at 3 a.m. static. Just static. I unplugged it, but it still turned on. I'd hear soft footsteps on the hardwood floor, even when no one was home. One night, I woke up and saw the doll standing at the foot of our bed. I screamed, waking my wife. But when she turned on the light, the doll was back in the chair. My wife said I was having nightmares. Maybe I was. But things got worse. Our cat refused to go into the living room. It hissed whenever it got near the chair. One morning, I found deep scratches on the floor leading away from the doll. Like something had dragged it across the house. I tried getting rid of it. I threw the doll in the trash. That night, it was back in the chair. I burned the chair in our backyard. Flames roared higher than they should have. The neighbors even called the fire department. The doll, untouched by the fire, sat on our porch the next morning. I finally went back to the house where we bought it. The place was abandoned. Windows broken. Door hanging off the hinges. Inside, everything was covered in dust and cobwebs. But in one corner, I saw another doll. Identical. Sitting in another rocking chair. I turned to leave, but on the wall above the fireplace were pictures. Old black and white photos of families. And in each one, the same doll sat in the background. Watching. Waiting. I don't know what it wants. But I can't sleep. I can't think. I can't live like this anymore. Last night, I woke up with the doll in my arms. And it was smiling. Story 2: The Mirror from Maple Street. I live in a small town where everyone knows everyone. Nothing exciting ever happens, except for the town-wide yard sales we have twice a year. People set up tables in their yards and sell everything from old books to broken appliances. Most of it is junk, but sometimes, you find something interesting. Last spring, I was walking down Maple Street, looking for vintage furniture for my apartment. That's when I saw it, a tall antique mirror with an oak frame and beautiful carvings around the edges. It was old but elegant. It gave me a weird feeling when I looked into it, like the reflection wasn't quite right. But the price was too good to pass up, only $10. The woman selling it was quiet. She looked tired and pale. When I handed her the money, She stared at me for a few seconds before speaking. "Don't hang it in your bedroom," she said. I laughed, thinking she was joking. "Why not?" She didn't smile. "Just don't." I should have listened. I brought the mirror home and hung it right above my dresser, across from my bed. At first, everything seemed fine. It looked great in the room. But within a few days, things started to feel off. I'd wake up at night and swear I saw movement in the mirror. Not just my reflection, something else, like a shadow standing behind me. But when I turned around, no one was there. One night, I was brushing my teeth when I noticed my reflection wasn't moving in sync. I lifted my hand slowly, and the reflection moved just a second too late. It was small, but enough to make my skin crawl. That same week, I had the same nightmare 3 nights in a row. I was lying in bed, frozen, and a dark figure stood at the foot of my bed, staring. I'd try to scream, but nothing came out. Then I'd wake up in a cold sweat. One morning, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. In the reflection of the mirror, my closet door was open. But when I turned around, the rail closet was closed. I walked over and opened it slowly. Nothing inside. Just clothes and boxes. But when I looked back into the mirror, the door in the reflection slowly creaked wider, and something white and pale moved deeper into the shadows. I slammed the closet shut and took the mirror down that night. I wrapped it in a blanket and stuck it in the garage, leaning it against the wall. But that didn't stop it. The next morning, I found the mirror back in my bedroom, hanging exactly where it was before. I live alone. No one else has a key. I was freaked out and called my friend Josh. He came over, laughed at first, then looked into the mirror and went quiet. "Man, I don't like this thing," he finally said. "We tried taking it to the dump, but the guy there said they don't take mirrors. We left it by a dumpster anyway and drove off." I thought that was the end of it. It was back in my room the next day. This time, it was cracked right down the center. And written in the condensation on the glass were the words, "I see you." I packed a bag and left my apartment that night. Slept at my parents' house for the weekend. When I came back on Monday, the mirror was gone. But something else was waiting. In the middle of my bed was a broken shard of glass from the mirror, resting on my pillow like a gift. That night, I went back to the yard sale house on Maple Street. But the house was empty. For sale sign out front. Neighbors said the woman moved away last month after her daughter went missing. They said the daughter used to talk to the mirror, said it showed her things no one else could see. Before I left, I peeked through a broken window. In the hallway, propped against the wall, was another mirror. And for just a second, I saw my reflection staring back at me. Smiling. But I wasn't smiling. Story 3. The music box that played itself. It was a hot Saturday morning when my little sister Lily and I stopped at a yard sale near the edge of town. The house was old and had boarded up windows, but the owners had set up a table outside with boxes of dusty trinkets, books, and old toys. Lily loved anything vintage. While I was flipping through a stack of comic books, she called me over, holding a small wooden music box. It was beautifully carved, with roses along the sides and a tiny ballerina inside. When she turned the crank, it played a soft, slow tune, one I'd never heard before. It sounded sad, almost like a lullaby, but twisted and off-key. "I love it," Lily said with a smile. "It's only $5. The old man running the yard sale was standing in the shade, smoking. When Lily brought the box to him, his smile faded. "You sure you want that one?" he asked. She nodded. He hesitated, then took the money without saying anything else. We went home, and Lily placed the music box on her nightstand. That night, she wound it up before bed and let it play until she fell asleep. But something was strange. At exactly midnight, I heard the tune again. Faint coming from her room. I got up to check on her. The box was open, the ballerina spinning. But Lily was fast asleep. I closed the lid and walked out. The next night, the same thing happened. Midnight. The same song. I went in and saw the box open again, spinning on its own. This time, Lily sat up in bed. Her eyes were open, but she wasn't awake. She was sleepwalking, staring straight ahead with no emotion. I gently laid her back down, and she didn't remember any of it in the morning. It got worse. Lily started acting different. Quiet. Nervous. She said she didn't like being alone anymore. Said she felt someone else in the room. One afternoon, I came home and heard the music playing even though Lily wasn't in the house. I walked into her room. The box was closed, but the tune played anyway. And then it stopped, suddenly, like someone had yanked the crank from the inside. That night, I had a nightmare. I was standing in Lily's room, watching the ballerina spin. But as I stared at it, her face twisted into something evil. Her smile turned sharp, and her eyes went black. The music got faster and faster, until it was nothing but screeching. When I woke up, I found Lily crying in the hallway. She said the music woke her up. She said the ballerina was whispering to her. I took the music box and tried to smash it with a hammer. But it didn't break. Not even a scratch. I buried it deep in the woods the next morning. Dug a hole and threw it in, then covered it with rocks and dirt. I told no one. That night, at midnight, the music played again. The box was back on Lily's nightstand. That's when I knew something was wrong. Really wrong. I searched online and found a post on a paranormal forum. A woman had posted years ago about a similar box. Her daughter had found it at a yard sale in another state. Same song. Same ballerina. Same story. Her daughter disappeared a month later. And the music box was found at her front door the next morning. I was terrified. We tried contacting the man who sold it to us, but the house was abandoned. A neighbor said the man had passed away years ago. Said the house had been empty for a long time. But we both saw him. We bought the box from him. 2 nights later, Lily stopped talking altogether. She sat in her room, staring at the music box as it played on its own, hour after hour. Then she started drawing pictures. Dark ones. Black crayon swirls and figures with twisted faces and long fingers. One picture showed the ballerina standing in her doorway. I called a priest. He blessed the house and took the music box with him. But on the 3rd day, he called me. He said he locked the box in his church, in a safe. But the music started playing again that night. The ballerina had stopped spinning, and now it pointed out of the box, toward the door. The next morning, the priest was gone. And the box was back in Lily's room. I don't know what it wants. But it's not just a toy. It watches. It waits. And the music never stops. Last night, Lily disappeared. No signs of struggle. No forced doors. Just her window wide open. The only thing left behind was the music box. Still playing. Still spinning.